Now tell me the punctuation marks. What is this?
Question mark. Full stop. Hmm.
What is this?
I don't know.
It's an exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark.
Yes. Assalam alaikum. I hope you're all doing well. Today we are going to talk about sentences. So if you're here, I am expecting that your child is reading. They are reading their CVCs really fluently and they know their sight words. Like they can read books, little books like the beginner books. So now you have to give them the idea what is a sentence and how does a sentence look like, a little structure of the sentence. So this is just a soft start for them to know that what is a sentence and then how things come together and form a sentence and how do they look like. They are just not reading, they are also now wanting to make sentences. So you will tell them actually what is a sentence. So this is a soft start for them. Let's start. So this is what you're going to do with your child. Just make a paper like this. Teach them through visual everything. When you're doing it visually, it works really well. So make this for them and you can start teaching them the very basics of a sentence. First you have to tell them what is a sentence. A sentence is a group of words that tells a complete thought. If you want to say something, it's a sentence. Sentence always end with a punctuation mark. Now you just don't write the words together and just pretend that it's a sentence. They always end with a punctuation. There are some rules to follow when you are working on writing the sentence. They look a little different when they are written down. What are punctuation marks? There are many, but for now you have to just introduce the very basics to them. They just need to know how they look like and what are their functions. So it will just be a little bit introduction for them right now. They are doing it in kindergarten, so they will know it more about it in grade 1. This is for 5-year-old. Okay, so the first punctuation mark that we are going to talk about is a period. A period, it's also called a full stop. Question mark. Question mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. This is an exclamation mark. A period, a full stop, also called a full stop, a question mark, and an exclamation mark. So now they know what are the punctuation marks. They should know how they look like. Maybe have them practice on the paper. How do you write them? And maybe make these for them and just put them on the table to see and just talk about them every day till they remember that this is a full stop, this is an exclamation mark, and this is a question mark. Would take a day or two, won't take very long. So once they know what is a sentence, what are the punctuation marks, we are going to talk about how the punctuation works. The first punctuation that we are going to talk about is full stop, a period. It's also called a period and it's also called a full stop. What is a period? A period tells us when a sentence stops. It is also called a full stop. When the sentence ends, that is when we put the full stop. So then you have to just write these sentences down, have your child read them, and first you have to talk about it to them. Which punctuation mark do you see here at the end of all these sentences? Which punctuation mark is that? Is it a question mark? Is it an exclamation mark? Or is it a full stop, a period? The child will say, it's a period, a full stop. Great job. So now they have to read the sentences, and with every sentence you have to remind them. Do you see that there is a full stop here? The sentence is ending. The person is telling something and he's done with his sentence, so they put a full stop. So you have to remind them after every sentence. Do you see there is a full stop? A full stop here, a full stop here. So your child should be able to read these sentences independently. They will do it because they are through a lot of phonic rules by now. So that's how you're going to practice the first punctuation mark, not exclamation mark. Okay, so do this like one day you are doing what is a sentence, you'll do it just that in one day. Next day you are going to talk about this when they know how the punctuation marks look, then you are going to do this. Have them practice, have them look at it, maybe ask them to write a sentence and put a full stop, and maybe ask them to write one or two of these for practice. And first pick up the full stop.
Full stop.
Yes, this is the full stop. Now tell me, which punctuation mark is at the end of all the sentences? Which punctuation mark do you see? Say the name. I want
Full
you.
stop.
Great job.
2 rocks are in my socks. I pack 2 tents. I see 2 ducks. I went to 2 ponds.
This is day 3 of you teaching them sentences and punctuation marks. Today we are going to talk about question marks. That's how the question mark looks. What is a question mark? A question mark tells us where the sentence stops and the sentence is a question. When the question feels like someone is asking something, like a question, then you put a question mark. Do you see which punctuation mark is there at the end of all the sentences? The child will say it's a question mark. Good job. Then they will practice reading all the sentences and you will have to remind them that, see, there is a question mark at the end of the sentence. Why? Because it's a question. They are asking something. The sentence sounds like a question. That's when you put the question mark.
Question.
Question mark.
Question. The clock is staring inside.
Great job. This is a question mark. A question mark tells us where the sentence stops, and the sentence is a question when you're asking something, right? When you ask something, you put a question mark at the end of the sentence. Can you read the sentences for me now? First, tell me which punctuation mark do you see at the end of all the sentences? Say the name. I want you to say the name.
It's question mark.
Yes. Now read them. Read.
Who has 2 rats? Who can love bugs?
Hmm.
Who want?
Who?
Who went
Yes.
to the hills?
Good job. The last punctuation mark that we are going to learn is exclamation mark. That's how the exclamation mark looks like. What is an exclamation mark? An exclamation mark tells us where the sentence stops and tells us that the sentence shows strong feeling, such as excitement or fear. If there is a feeling felt in the sentence, then you will put an exclamation mark. Maybe you will have to specify the feelings for the child at this age. They are just 5-year-old. So you will tell them that what are feelings? The feelings of joy, the feelings of fear, of being scared, or maybe you are excited. That's when you write down those words, you have to put an exclamation mark. Do you see which punctuation is there at the end of all the sentences? It's an exclamation mark. Great job. Now practice reading them and remind them after every sentence that this is an exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark.
Now let me show you how to read them. When a sentence has a feeling, you have to read it with a feeling also. Okay? I'll read it for you. Oh, the sun was so hot. Rick was so mad. The van went so fast. Sam was so glad. Help! I fell in a pit. I was lost. See? There are feelings in the sentences, so you have to read them also with a feeling, okay? Show me your punctuation marks again and tell me the names.
Exclamation mark.
Hmm.
Question mark. Full stop.
Good job! So, your lesson of the sentences and punctuations will end here. And then you can just mix up the sentences, just these sentences only, write them down and have them practice again. And that time you will, then when you do that, you will just mix them all up and ask them, how does the sentence end? With the exclamation mark, with the question mark, or with a period? So the child should be able to tell you that it ends with this punctuation mark. So that is when you know that the recognition of the punctuation marks is strong. Right now, you're not expecting them to put the punctuations independently. For now, you're just having them start to know that how a sentence looks, how do the punctuation marks work, just a soft introduction of a lot more to come. Inshallah, I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I hope you will try it with your kids. Inshallah, until next time, Allah Hafiz.